even folks that I knew from previous locations, like one Paul Catalina, can confirm this, who is on the line now. Paul, can you confirm that Jack Allen is the hardest working man in all of sports media?
Yeah, he has to be. He very much works hard. I mean, that's because he gets in deep with the Sharks. Like I told you before, you've got to stay ahead of the bookies and the Sharks, or they'll cut your thumbs off. You don't want to do that. So Jack, I mean, he really works hard. It's amazing, especially given the fact that several times when he was here, they didn't even give him like a battery for the camera. He just had to run it on Steam. I was very impressed with Jack's work ethic.
It was the crank camera, like you have like in the storms, the crank radios that you have. He had to physically do the film. Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, it was really obnoxious, Josh. You had John Werner was covering the Bears in print, and he was tapping on the keyboard, and then there was me in the back just trying to turn on the
FIC typewriter.
Exactly,
is what you were on. So Paul Catalina's here. So Paul, you had a great thought last week. You and I talked about it on your show. Wanted to get it here, and thank you for joining us. So the idea that week one, we got a couple big games as we shift gears here to a national perspective. Week one, Texas plays Ohio State, and actually let's go with the three big games: Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, and Notre Dame, Miami. I think I believe they're all top 10 matchups. I believe those are all top 10. In the AP poll we just got out. Which matchup to you is most likely to produce a national champion, not a competitor in the championship game, but a national champion, period?
I will boldly say that neither Texas or Ohio State will win the national championship this year. I'm very confident in that. Not to say that they won't be good, but I can boldly say that they won't. I think Miami won't get close. I think Notre Dame will be in contention. And I think that the Clemson-LSU game is the most likely to produce the national champion.
And why? So you believe that because those two teams are more refined? Where does it come from?
I think, for one, I think Clemson's the best team in the country. I think that they have the most dynamic playmakers. They have the most experienced and dynamic quarterback. They have back the juice that they used to have along the lines. They've got skilled players now that make a difference. And they've done what they needed to do to get in kind of the modern power player kind of team building by just going in and getting 5-6 guys out of the portal. That's all they needed to do to supplement the roster. Garrett Riley's in year 3. And for LSU, look, I love Garrett Nussmeier. If they can keep him healthy and give him some semblance of a running game, I think they'll be better on defense this year, and I think that they can do some things. But I think of all the teams you listed, I mean, Clemson is the one to me is most likely to be a national champion because they are built, and I can't find – I can find more holes in every other team on the list, starting with LSU, than I can with Clemson. I mean, all the way down the line. Notre Dame's going to have a new quarterback.
Right.
Arch Manning hasn't played a full season yet. We don't even really know if Julian Saint or Lincoln Kienholz is going to be the quarterback at Ohio State, not to mention how many guys they lost to the NFL last year that they have to replace and build that chemistry. And either quarterback who's going to play has never played before. Miami is, I mean, look, they're
are they going to suck?
Fine.
Like, they couldn't stop anybody last year, and their best player is gone.
Yeah, they replaced Cam Ward with Carson Beck, which is even if Carson Beck plays up to his absolute best, it's still a loss, a net loss overall. They couldn't stop anybody. I don't know if they have the talent to do it, and I'm not sure that they have the coaching staff that can outfox people in the playoffs. Like if they get there, great for them, but I'm not convinced that they are good enough coaching staff, especially at the top. I'm not trying to knock Mario Cristobal. I think he's all right, but if you told me any of the 11 teams in the playoffs, I might pick their coach over Mario.
It's funny. So you mentioned this about the Clemson idea, and this is why it's really hard for teams like Indiana and Arizona State to repeat their success. Michigan State a few years ago. So I ran the numbers last year going into the playoffs about how many players on each team starting 22 were transfers. The Final Four last year was Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, and Notre Dame. Out of those teams, Texas had 6 of 20. It's the highest. 6 of 22 guys, which is 27%. Penn State had 3 of 22 guys as transfers. Notre Dame had 4, and Ohio State had 3. And this is what's been so frustrating to me, Paul, about what Clemson and Dabo have done. Dabo has been massively successful. I understand this. But as soon as you started to lose championships and you had clear deficiencies at places like wide receiver, why were you not going to the portal to restock talent? It was completely a cutting your nose off to spite your face thing. And look, I hope they win a title this year. But if they win a title, as a Clemson fan, I'd be like, we could have had more if you came and you jumped on the boat earlier on.
Yeah, I absolutely think that, because it's not about going and getting 20 guys. If you have to get more than 10 to 12 transfers, you're probably not going to be a playoff team. But if you go and get 5 guys to supplement and allow your freshmen to develop, he was very conceited about his high school recruiting, which is very good. But
right.
He forgot the part where when you're 18 and another guy, especially now, could be 26 years old across from you, that's a difference. It's not the same. We've got 6th and 7th year players playing against you now. So
right.
The gap is even bigger because you've got grown men with with mortgages and
rental cars,
all these things. Yeah, and so it's a different dynamic altogether that he, I think, refused, not failed to see, refused to see it, because he was trying to be the last bastion of what college football used to be, and he was living in the past. And I think his coaching staff finally convinced him, like, hey, we don't have to get 30, but when we have nothing but freshmen at a position, can we go get 2 guys that can start so that we don't have to throw the freshmen to the wolves? And the other thing that I've said this a million times, part of the thing that happens with transfers is you go to a place for a couple years, the coach leaves, you don't like it, and you're still a pretty good player or need to be developed. And why? Like, how about those guys that went to Florida instead of Clemson and decided, like, you know what, I'd rather really go play for Dabo. I like him better than I like Billy Napier. It's only been a year. I'm going to go. Like, why not pick up 2 or 3 strays of those a year? Because they were your second choice. Dabo, it's like, no. You said no to me the first time, die. And that to me doesn't make any sense either. Like, it's just he's very mad about being scorned, I guess, but he's finally made those adjustments, which makes Clemson really, really, really scary, because if you've got seniors where freshmen used to be playing, or right. juniors where freshmen were forced into playing last year, the last couple of years, then guess what? That's a whole different animal. Especially in a conference like the ACC, right. which has some good teams in it. Georgia Tech's good, Louisville's good, Miami's good. I think there's going to be a couple of the teams that Pittsburgh could jump up and surprise if Eli Holstein's healthy. But Florida State's a mystery. Duke might be pretty good, but who is as good as they are?
Right.
Nobody. It's not even close.
Paul, Jack has a quick. We got about a minute and a half here. Jack has a quick one for you.
Well, I just wanted to offer a little pushback to you, Paul, just in the sense of we talk a lot about the part of the reason why Clemson is so good this year, or why we think they'll be so good this year, is that they have a lot of returning players. They have a lot of stability. Do you think that Dabo deserves a little credit for continuing to invest in high schoolers and keeping them within the same program and kind of building that stability?
I think for sure. Like he's shown that you can be 9-3 with elite high school recruiting, without breaking a sweat. The problem is 9-3 only gets you there on a miracle, like they did, like last year, where they, at the end of the SMU game. So he's done that. The problem is like, he wasn't swinging all the clubs in his bag. Like he gets. Right. He refused to use the sand wedge in the trap. Like, buddy, just put you're not
nine iron.
Yeah, pull out the sand wedge, buddy. Just do that. That's the only thing.
Paul, where can people find you and your work and all of its variety? I want to make sure you can plug all that stuff.
Go to 365 Sports on YouTube. Of course, you can find us on all social medias, whether you're TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But 365 Sports, we're on in an hour, as a matter of fact. And you'll see Josh on our show on Friday.
You will. Paul, we appreciate you giving us some time here on a Wednesday. Have a great show, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. See you guys.